Never in your wildest dream did you think any of your children would come and be not only a blessing, but a blessing that comes with, oh God, I know I prayed for this, but this is a little too much.
Yes. You never think that. As a mother, you never think that. Also, I don't think anybody strives for perfect mom or a perfect child, but this is just something that comes and shocks your core. You never expect it. And when it hits you, that's why you find that there's mothers, especially, who struggle with acceptance.
Sure.
Because you have to just decide. It's a decision that you have to one day wake up and decide that I'm going to have to live with this and deal with this and manage this and thrive with this.
Hello and welcome to Life Lately, the podcast where we dive and explore real conversations with our authentic guests. Season 2, you guys, is deeply personal. It is deeply, deeply intentional. Today we are joined by Lucia and we are breaking all the stereotypes on perfect motherhood. Today we are sitting with the so beautiful, ever so stunning globetrotter, never at home, never in SA, Miss Universe Official 2022-2023, Lucia Mphahlele.
Hi.
Hi, beautiful.
How are you, gorgeous?
You are tall.
I am.
How dare you? How dare you stand tall in my lounge, taller than me? How are you, sis?
I'm great, thanks. And how are you?
I'm good. The way odilane into eziningi ngakhona, but you always so full of life.
Yes.
Today we tackle the topics of just addressing stereotypes in society when you're raising a child with neurodiversity, ADHD, and spectrum in a whole, and we speak to Lucia today on how she navigates it all. Like, guys, I don't ask that question and lightly. It sounds so light and just doesn't carry the weight that it should. Where do we start?
I mean, you tell me. It's everywhere.
Let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
Lucia growing up.
Yes.
Have you always wanted to be a mom? Where did Lucia grow up?
I've always wanted to be a mom. I've been such a caretaker in my family. Whenever there was a newborn, there's a younger sister, I call her my daughter because I literally raised her. From diapers to bathing her to feeding, I started early on. I knew that I've always wanted to be a mom, and I've always wanted to be a mom of 3. I've always wanted my 2 boys and a girl. And God delivered.
Stop.
Yes.
Look at you. You must give us that number. Clearly you have a secret line to God.
I do. Even I do. I promise you.
I'm joking. We all receive the way God sees fit, and we're so
Amen.
grateful. Lord, thank you so much. You've always just been a caregiver, and you're like, I want to have 3 kids.
Yes.
And
I've always wanted to have 3 kids, and that's exactly what happened.
and
I have 3 kids, but what the life that I'm living now has taught me that when you decide to be a parent, when you decide you're going to have kids, you need to have an open mind and an open soul, because it could be whatever.
Yeah.
It could be whatever. You can decide on the number of children, God willing, and you get them. But in terms of the type, their divergence, it's God. You are gifted that which was
God
meant
thinks
for
fit
you.
for you.
Yes.
Never in your wildest dream did you think any of your children would come and be not only a blessing, but a blessing that comes with, oh God, I know I prayed for this, but this is a little too much.
Yes. You never think that. As a mother, you never think that. Also, I don't think anybody strives for perfect mom or a perfect child, but this is just something that comes and shocks your core. You never expect it. And when it hits you, that's why you find that there's mothers, especially, who struggle with acceptance.
Sure.
Because you have to just decide. It's a decision that you have to one day wake up and decide that I'm going to have to live with this and deal with this and manage this and thrive with this.
And you coming from a background of pageantry and modeling, that is a world that portrays perfection. And I'm sure your mind has always been like that. Yes, we're not perfect, but I thrive towards it, at least, for someone else who's looking from the outside to think that I've got it all together. And then now you receive this blessing in your arms and you're like, thank you, Lord, my arms are full. But whew, how did you reach that stage where you accepted the news, when the news was brought to you that, look, Lucia, we thankful Utingani is alive and Yaphefumula has all the limbs, Siphelele, looks from the outside like Inganyase next door. However,
Yes.
we are dealing with A, B, C, D.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come to accept, like you were speaking now, saying that a lot of people are struggling with acceptance? By the way, before you answer, I once had a conversation with a psychologist who said to me that before your mind accepts something, it first rejects it.
Yes. That's exactly it. That's exactly how it happened. He was diagnosed at 2. I was dealing with quite a lot when it happened. I mean, I was going through divorce. Nobody knew at the time.
Oh.
I was separated, going through divorce, and I was dealing with that. But also, I was already way past the pull and tug of divorce. I was, when you are at the breather stage to say, oh, now things are looking up. We are looking at concluding, etc. Being in agreement with each other. Then this hit. Then you start realizing, because Will is my third.
Sure.
Will is my third. Then I started picking up signs that he was different. That he was different in an immense way. In a lot of things were just not making sense. But Dr. Google, I would always just Google.
No, your Google would
Yes,
drive us crazy.
Like every day when I see something new, I would go and Google it. But Google never disappointed, because Google actually is the one that taught me that these are the signs of autism.
Okay.
Yes. And I know that people who tell you that vaccines cause autism, etc., maybe that is true for other people. But I know that in my case, it's genetic. Because I've got a cousin who has a son who's 21 now, who's on the spectrum.
Okay.
Yes, it's from my grandfather's side, because another family that we are closely related to from my grandfather, they also have 2 boys on the spectrum. And I understand that my grandfather had a sister who was autistic. Because when my grandmother used to tell me about her, she would say she never spoke, but was not deaf.
They never had the diagnosis.
No,
for
they
it back
didn't.
then. They didn't know what they were dealing with.
Yes.
Half the time also you were told, wisdom. I don't know if you guys ever, a slow learner would be like,
yes.
Like,
yes.
Or like, they just
Yes.
didn't have the tools that we have now.
Yes, they did not have the tools to diagnose. Things were not as they are now. I mean, even now we don't have the necessary resources. There's less schools, etc. But imagine back then in the day. So in my case, I know for a fact that it's genetic. It's genetic. And I keep saying, I was just saying to my sister the other day that if my eyes were wide open as they are now, and I knew what the odds were. I love my children. I love my son with everything in me. But do you know what this world is to such children? You'd be like, if I went back, I mean, even my sister says she doesn't want children. She doesn't have children. We don't know what brought that about, but it's within her right to not want children. But then you start looking at everything that is happening around you, the world, how the world treats kids. Then you're like, are we not? Perhaps she's traumatized from my experience, because it's something that is very traumatic. But I rejected it at first. I'm one person who really accepts situations for exactly what they are. I accepted it. But I thought I accepted it because it was Dr. Google who said, when Dr. Google tells you something, you're still hoping and wishing that's not it. Because Dr. Google can diagnose you dead, basically, while you are walking. And when he was diagnosed, I accepted it in that doctor's room.
Okay, so after that you said, okay, I need to take my son.
Yes.
Where did you start?
Then,
someone who's also identifying the little differences from what society calls normal child and maybe another child of theirs that's just like, no man, something is amiss here. Where do you start?
That is also, I am glad that you actually asked that, because I still meet parents today who would tell me of their children having autistic traits and don't know where to start. I went to the pediatrician. We wasted over a year and a half of pediatrician, of hospitals, different hospitals being referred here and there and there, until one at Unitas, who was a specialist, more of a specialist with children, not just a normal pediatrician, said you need to see a developmental pediatrician. I did not know about such a thing called a developmental pediatrician. Then she referred us to a developmental pediatrician not far from where I lived, and we went there, and that's when he was diagnosed. On the second meeting, he was diagnosed, and I accepted it in the room because I felt like I knew what it was. But when I got home, it hit me. It was the end of November. I went home for Christmas. I didn't even stay. I didn't know myself to be a type of individual that could ever be depressed. But I think I was then, because I literally slept for a whole month.
Yeah. Now, your son is 2. Are you speaking to the siblings? I don't know the age gap between them. Who is your support during this time?
At that time,
or your
ex-husband? Nobody, because we already had the one that I say is 21. And as they grow and progress, things shift and change and turn. And even with my parents, I mean, the denial was immense. And my mom would say, no, but he's not like Tabiso. His name is Tabiso, the older one that we have. And they would say, nothing about him says he's autistic. He looks like a typical normal child. And he did. But I knew deep down, this, it was only a matter of it unfolding little by little by little. Because I'm not one to thrive under denial. I am never in denial of situations in life. So at that stage, it was no, when they start telling you, I don't know what you call it in your language. I mean, in our culture, in the black culture mostly, they believe that when a child is born, sometimes a child is born with a red mark. Then they you need to go to, in those etc. Then my mom was like, perhaps he's dead. And because we are firm believers in Christ and Christians, then my mom was like, maybe we even need to see, who knows, maybe prophets can help. And for me to navigate that, I know that once you grow up and you have your own kids, you always want it your way. I took it as this, in as much as it is my pain, I saw it in my mom and dad, that they carry the pain even more heavier, because I think in their generation, they don't want to accept situations. They're always in denial. And when they wanted to take him to church, I allowed it. They wanted to take him to church where there's prophets. I said, I'm not going to go, but you can take him.
I think also we want to exhaust all the options. And also I'm like that with my mom. My mom is a Christ believer, and that's how we grew up. And sometimes I'm just like, I'll try it your way. I'll try everything, because you also want to give them comfort. In saying that we are supporting you, allow us to give you support. Because at that time, also, you don't know. You're just like, God, it's in your hands. But why me? Why my son? Why my family? And if I'm being honest with you, you mentioned that you first found out about the diagnosis in the midst of getting a divorce. I don't know a lot of people that would still have gone on to say, I can do this alone. Because yes, there is co-parenting, but you know that the majority of the work will stay with you, the primary parent, the primary caregiver. How was the conversation? Because your son now needs both mom and dad.
I mean, the conversation, and I would update him, but I always say, it must be, I don't know if it must be nice being a dad. Fathers can choose and decide when they want to show up. If they don't want to show up for something, they just remove themselves and nothing happens. And it's exactly that. And I would always, to date, with everything, I would always make sure that I update him. This is what's happening in his life. This is what. But at the time, I also, thought it's his anger towards the divorce. And but it's we have had better days. But in the beginning, he just was not interested. He said, no, you wanted a divorce. So, I mean, it means you can handle everything. All on your own. You want to be in Bokodo and be alone. So, I mean,
my God.
So you can do it all.
Somehow, I don't know why this is. God, You know, God, we want to talk, huh? Why is it that at the height of umgo, it's like everything just,
Yes.
when Christ wants to bring you close to Him, when the show, eh?
Yes. When Christ wants, and yes, because boy, did I pray. I prayed. I lived. When they say eat, pray, love, I ate,
Prayed love.
prayed, and I loved. Like it was there was no tomorrow.
Like your life depended on
my
it.
life depended on it. Not even like my life, my sanity depended on it. And I mean, even with the day that I woke up and I decided that I'm going to accept, even before I started therapy to deal with it, I just woke up one day and I told everyone in the household, I told my children that, you know what, Mommy's coming back. Because I was gone for an entire festive season, an entire December. I was in bed literally every day. I remember even for the 31st of that year, 31st of December, I wasn't home. I was here because he was sickly. At the time, he was also sickly. He lost blood in his gut. He would always be admitted. To date, we still cannot stay in Limpopo long in December because the heat.
Okay.
And doctor says the two don't go together. But as a mom, I know. Every December that we've been to Limpopo, I've always been driving in the wee hours of the morning, driving back, hurrying up to Gauteng because he's lost blood in his system. He looks flushed out.
So
and
how
I
does he
know
lose
that.
blood? How do you, what happens?
Okay.
Does he bleed?
No, he doesn't bleed.
He
He
looks pale.
bleeds in his gut and he would look pale. He would be like limp and numb. That's how, yes, that's how I would see that. No. And then he would have difficulty breathing, maybe start throwing up. That's how I knew. But for the past 2,
How old is your boy?
he's 8. When he was 6 and 7, I only went home for like just the Christmas day and I would come back the next day. But he would still be sick, but it's better than he wouldn't need to be admitted.
What a lot.
Yes, it's a lot.
Who is your community? Have you found centers or a community that offers support? Because you can't be doing this alone.
It's funny that you mention a community because when Will was first diagnosed, there was no community. I mean, one of the reasons why I didn't know where to begin, where to go, is because when you Google things, you're like, what type of schools do they even attend? What therapies does he need?
Am I doing enough?
Yes. And at the time, there was nobody. Like, there was nobody who looked like me. There was no black woman that I could find and relate to. The only people I'll find would be like white Americans. That would be there. But also at the time, I wasn't much on social media. So I don't know if there were people on Instagram. There was no TikTok. So I
Also,
literally
Lucia,
had
the stigma.
nowhere. Yes.
We still stigmatize autism and neurodivergency. We still feel like I'm ashamed. Even yourself, not just society. I'm ashamed that my son or my child is not normal.
Even if it's not so much as shame, but you immediately worry about them. You worry about everything, what is going to come of their life, all the dreams. You literally mourn your child while they're alive. That's how I felt. I mourned him like he was dead, but he was alive. Because then I knew that he's never going to be able to go into a normal school.
Schooling. A normal childhood, normal
mainstream.
Friends,
yes.
A normal
life. Is he ever going to have a friend? Are we going to be able to host birthday parties for him? Who's going to come? His older siblings' friends? Because that's exactly what
How's the relationship between the siblings? Are they perfect? Great.
It's great. It's great. Because also remember, your children feed off of
you.
Yes. Everything that you embody and that you do and that you are, that you embrace, your kids would. My children, even with their friends, they teach their friends about autism, what it is. If we are to go out to Spare to have lunch, you would find them in the playground teaching the other kids in there. Exactly. Because kids are curious.
Yes.
Not only kids, everybody's curious. So I've always been saying that people sometimes will be saying, no, people are staring at my son in nasty ways. But it's I always see that as an opportunity for me to teach and bring awareness instead of, yes. If somebody's perhaps staring at my son, I would ask, I can see you staring. Are you curious? What do you think this is? And then they'll be like, no, I'm sorry. I say, no, don't apologize.
Be sorry, yes.
Don't be sorry. You were staring for a reason. What is it? I'm here. I want to educate you on what this is. And they'll be like, oh, wow, I've never met a mom who's open. They'll be like, no, stop staring at. But if something is different from the norm, people are going to stare.
You are so courageous. And right now, I hope this episode educates, gives us the necessary tools and resources to say, look, it's okay.
It is.
Life carries on, and yes, it looks different, but your child can still have a childhood that is fulfilled. What have you learned? What is the one thing that you have learned from raising your beautiful son in this period, on this beautiful day, looking back in the 8 years that you spent with him? What do you want to say and share with someone who's just started or is maybe concerned that they could be? What have you learned?
I've learned that we struggle with things that we refuse to accept. One, as a mom, if you are starting out and then you are suspecting something, you cannot be a ruler as a mom. You see how straight a ruler is and it can't bend. If you forcefully try to bend it, it's going to break. You need to allow yourself to curve. Even when you're driving, if there's a curve ahead, if you refuse to curve with it, you're going to fall off. What I've learned is that in everything that you do, you have to allow yourself to bend. You have to curve with every twist and turn of life. And that's how you are going to thrive. There's beauty in pain, and there's beauty in uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable. Anything that is uncomfortable, there's beauty in it, only if you embrace it. Because the moment you allow yourself to bend and curve, you are going to embrace it. It's going to even create opportunities for yourself to broaden up what you thought you knew. And when you broaden up what you thought you knew, you are going to go out of your way to make life easy for yourself, for those around you, for your children and your child who's affected. I mean, I've also realized that a lot of people who say, I don't have a community around me. I'm sorry to say, but if you look deep within, it's mostly because you shun everyone away. You literally chase everyone away because you refuse to accept that which you're dealing with. When you don't accept it and you isolate yourself, how are you going to have a village around you? Who's going to? If everybody, when they come near you, they must be walking on eggshells. People start to avoid you. But if you are open enough to say, I'm struggling with this. I'm telling you, Nozipho, it's not when you open up and say, I'm struggling with this, with 1, 2, 3, you are bound to find somebody within your circle, in your community, in your family, who's going to be able to walk that path and assist you on that particular one. It might not necessarily always be the same person over and over. But if you're open and you don't hog it, because I find that with other mothers, they want to hog it like it's something to be ashamed. And I always say, why are you hogging it like you are so proud of it? Like it's yours and you must be yours alone. You want no interruptions with it. Don't make it a solo project. Involve everybody. And your child is going to thrive based off on what you allow in your world. If you allow nothing, there's going to be nothing. You've got nothing to deal with. You work on nothing. You don't go anywhere. You want to hide them because you don't want people staring. If I'm in a store and people would think it's a tantrum, if he looks like he's throwing a fit, but it could be because he's overwhelmed from the lights, from the noises, the ticking, whatever.
Are you able now to identify the triggers?
Yes, I'm able to identify the triggers.
That is amazing.
Yes. And I always take that, as I said, as a teaching moment.
As a teacher.
Because they'll be saying, mommy, such an old man. Why is he throwing tantrum? No, Shine Duke, whatever. I'll be like, then I teach. I'm like, no, he's autistic. He struggles with social cues. This is a trigger. And in most cases, I'm even able to identify it. This is a trigger. So I'm just trying to do everything in my power to quickly get out of here. I mean, even tiles that are shiny, sometimes he feels like they will swallow him. I can feel him, threading carefully, scared to step. And then if I put him on my back, I remember one time in a grocery store, the cashier was saying, what? Such an old man on your back. You mothers of nowadays are the ones ruining. And I would laugh it off. Instead of taking offense, I would laugh it off and I'll say, mom, you really, are you a mother? Then she'd be like, yeah. I said, do you think I would put an 8-year-old on my back just for fun?
Sure.
He looks heavy, does he not? So there is a reason behind it. And then she asked, and I said, he's autistic. And she wanted to apologize. I said, it's okay, but you don't have to apologize because you didn't know. You saw something that is out of the ordinary and you became curious. Yeah. What is this now? What are we dealing with? He is dead.
You are sounding so aware and intentional of your purpose on this earth, on your purpose as a mom, Lucia, and I love it. What do you do to keep yourself from being isolated, from filling your cup? I know the traveling, by the way. We see the holidays. We also want to go. Please take us with you. But how do you fill your cup so that you make sure that you are able to come home? Not only does your 8-year-old need you, but your other children still need you. Because I can imagine the guilt of always thinking that I'm giving all my time to my autistic child and I'm still a mother to 2 more other human beings that still need me. How do you fill your cup and how do you work on the guilt of saying, I want to be 100% there for all of you guys completely? Or do you guys have some sort of a schedule with your big kids or your other kids and understanding and saying, you said your son's name was Chris. No, sorry, what? Will, sorry. Yeah. Will needs mommy more right now until he's able to have the tools to be able to navigate. I don't know. What is the conversation at home and how, firstly, do you fill your cup?
Yes. Filling your cup is quite easy. For me, it's just the same as any other mother. Once you do away with trying to be a perfect mom, you are able to do a lot. You imprison yourself first in your mind by thinking you're doing little. There's this doctor that I live by. It's Dr. Siegel. He's like a leading researcher for developmental child development. So this man has found through his research that for your children to thrive as a mother, as a father, you need to only get it right 30%.
Sure.
And they will thrive. If you are striving for the 100%, everything collapses. You will fail dismally.
Wow.
So imagine I'm working with that to say, I need to, if my benchmark is 30, I'm going to increase it to 50% because you have a lot of room to fix things, to shift things around, to thrive. You have a lot of room to make mistakes in parenting. They're just mistakes that are more severe and that you cannot but before I get to the one of filling my cup, with my kids, I'm intentional. Autism taught me to be intentional with every single thing that I do in my life. It completely changed my life for the better. I know people will say, but how? This is the worst thing. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. You know, when something is your greatest, achievement and gives you immense joy as a mother, but it's also your deepest heartache because now you have a child who's on the spectrum. So what I do is, even with my other kids, I'm very intentional. I divide time accordingly because I understand that if you take all your time and it's solely focused on the one who unfortunately needs you the most, you're going to neglect the others. They also have needs. They're just babies who needs their mother, who needs to be nurtured, they have everything going on for them in their lives. You still show up for them. It's intention. I diarize. I have meetings and dates with them separately. I'm the type of mother that, and I'm blessed to be able to be the malume of the home. I take my children to and from school. We have deep conversations. I speak to my children about everything. We studied in the car. If there's something in the news about children I take everything as it happens in the current affairs and I lead with that. And I do my best to be a present mother in that way. Because if I don't get to do that, then my life is just going to revolve around Will, which is then not going to be fair on them. With everything, with treats, I strive to treat them the same. It's not always going to be easy. Some days they're like, mommy, we can get away with any and everything. If I do something wrong, then I lose my phone for but Will never loses anything.
They know how to guilt us.
Yes. And they say, what does Will ever lose? Doesn't lose anything. If it's not, he will. That's it.
Must be nice to
yes,
Will.
Yes, they would be saying that. But then in terms of filling my own cup, I always say, a perfect balance, it's also a lie. There is no perfect balance in life. If you're going to strive for perfect balance, if you have to work and you still have you have girlfriends.
Yeah.
I mean, a community that you build. I'm always saying I'm not an Iceland. I'm not going to isolate myself and live alone. Like I'm the only person with problems. Trust you me, I have problems. They are immense, but everybody's dealing with something.
Yeah.
Everybody's dealing with something. Some we can't see.
Yes.
You can see mine because I've made a conscious decision that I'm going to expose it so that the next mom who's dealing with the same thing can be able to see that, you can live with this. You can thrive. I mean,
and live a beautiful life.
Yes. And the reason why I've decided to show up so immensely for myself and fight to always refill my cup is because I have moments where I just feel like I'm a bit drained because there's mothers I work with. Mothers who would never ever want a Nozipho knowing that they have a child on the spectrum. And it doesn't matter. I could be so hectic at work. They'll be like, I need you. I feel like my walls are closing in on me. And I would stop. And when you're always listening to people's problems, sometimes it affects you.
Yeah.
So I believe a lot I know we are black people and they'll tell you, I won't pay somebody to listen to my problems. Yeah. But there will be times in your life that you feel like you need it. When I feel like I need it, I'll go back to therapy and I'll recharge, I'll refill my cup. Also, it's funny that you said you are always away on vacations. I feel like that is how I, traveling the world, seeing different cultures, even whether it's in Africa, we all do things differently. Yes. It opens up the
mind.
The mind.
Being exposed to a lot of things, it really shapes who you are.
Yes, it shapes who I am. It grounds me. It gets to show me just how blessed I am to be able to do the things that I do. Then you get to see that you are not worse off.
Yeah.
I think the problems that you are unable to overcome is once you start thinking they are bigger than you. Like you are worse off. Autism is not a death sentence. No. You are not worse off. You are not worse off. You are just raising a child who's different and with different abilities, who unfortunately has greater problems. I mean, for us, everything is a struggle. Even now, they called me at school because we are concerned with his teeth. He's got teeth that are protruding.
Okay.
I mean, you are supposed to just be able to take half a day at work and take your child to see a dentist or on a Saturday.
With the teeth when they
when because of how the sensory issues, they don't chew like you and I, they chew differently. So that would affect the structure of most of their mouths. Like when he was younger and people would say, no, he doesn't even look like he's autistic. It's because it was before teething and everything and. So now because of the structure of the mouth, how you chew and how we chew and speak, it structures our mouth to look the way that it does. So his mouth now, you can tell that something is amiss because of the dental formula. If you are not chewing properly, you don't speak. I mean, this is like we are training our mouth. Look at my tongue going up and down. He's non-speaking. I don't know if I mentioned that. So now, even when the teeth are supposed to come to get out, they don't. It's funny that there's nothing that we miss. We communicate. Because if he needs something, he's going to take me by hand. And if they're bothering him in the household, he will take me to whoever is bothering them and will shove me in their face. And he will be like saying, sort of instructing them to say, tell my mother what you are doing to me. And I'll be like, what am I walking into? What are you doing to my child? Yes, I always tell my other children, you don't have children, right? You don't have a child. Do not do to my child that which I don't do to him. Yes. Even if he wants to borrow somebody else's phone, he wants to bully them into borrowing their phone and they are refusing, he will take me to them to say, deal with this one. He doesn't want to borrow me this phone.
In unspokenness, you speak.
If he's hungry, he will take you to the microwave. His microwave is his way of saying, I want food.
Warm up.
Yes, and then if you want juice, he will take you to
Okay.
he will take you wherever he wants to go.
Communication is there.
It is
I've
there.
learned so much today, Lucia. I think we could speak so much and bringing awareness
Yes.
and just educating people in our society of, today we spoke pretty much on the duality of grief and joy of having
Yes.
a child with a neurodivergence. And thank you so much for opening up your socials, your heart, your everything to us and being able to share with us and teach us things that we didn't think that we needed to be aware of. And even though I don't have a child with autism, but my sister could, or the next person could. And, so it brings, we are a community. And thank you so much for being so courageous. I think I use the word courageous a lot with you today because I see so much strength. And I don't like when people say to me, oh my God, you're strong in you. You don't have a choice.
Yes, you don't have a choice.
Listen, so what's the other option?
There is no option.
There's no other option. So I don't like it. I know they mean it as a compliment when somebody says,
yes,
was strong. Sometimes you want to be. But what other option do you have? But you are a beautiful human being, confidence. You walk with so much grace because of, I can see you in the room. You have presence and you just, siyabonga for doing the work that you're doing. I appreciate you. I'm a mother. I have sisters. I have friends that have children, and I do have friends with children that have autism. So I've learned a lot today. Today we were blessed with Lucia Mphahlele, and siyabonga kakhulu Lucia today. Usifundisile okuningi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here and for honoring our invitation at Life Lately. This season, I keep saying for every intro and when we end the episode is that season 2 of Life Lately, we are very intentional. We are unbecoming what society has taught us and has told us to be, and we are coming back to our authentic selves.
Yes.
This season, our theme was inspired by Umangubane's book, Unbecoming, even though the stories that are being told are very different, but we are unbecoming of so much in our lives as women in general.
Yes.
So thank you so much again. And if you are part of a community that needs another community and know someone, please comment on the comment section down below. Thank you for watching today's episode. I hope it was informative. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed speaking today, and we learned so much. Thank you again. We will see you next week.